Hi, hello. Welcome to Teach Chemistry channel. Me, Suresh Dadi, MSc Chemistry from IIT Delhi and presently working as PGT Chemistry in KV, Khammam. So, the topic we are going to discuss now is very much important in the higher classes like 11th and 12th, and we are going to lay some basic concept up to 5% in our 10th class. So, the chapter we are going to discuss is carbon and its compounds. That carbon and its compounds. Carbon and its compounds. Do you recognize the importance of carbon in your daily life or not? So, once you go through the things you are using in your daily life, like clothes, like books, food, water bottles, okay, other plastic materials, most of the things we are using in our daily life are made of carbon. Carbon is playing very crucial role in our daily life. So, all these, if you carefully observe, these are carbon compounds. Okay, the availability of carbon in earth crust is very less. Well, in the earth crust is very less, but of course most of the compounds are made up of carbon. Earth's atmosphere is surrounded by carbon dioxide. It is considered to be one of the greenhouse gas. That is also very much less present in the atmosphere. But chemistry, that to carbon chemistry is utmost important. You are using pencil, you are using diamond studded rings. All those are carbon compounds. So, if you want to know about carbon compounds, first of all, you should know about carbon and the type of bond it is making. The type of bonds it is making. Okay, carbon and the type of bond it's making. What type of bonds the carbon is forming? What type of bonds the carbon is forming? What type of bond carbon is forming predominantly? Can you guess? So, of course, bonds, it's a new term for you. What is bond? What is bond? Bond is a force of attraction holding the molecules together. Bond means is a force of attraction which holds the atoms together, in a given molecule. Molecule contains more than one atom. Let's take A combines with B and it is forming AB. We can represent AB as, we are going to keep a single line A dash B, A double dash B, A triple dash B. So whatever is drawing the line between two atoms, that is considered as bond. This is one type of bond, this is other type of bond, these are other type of bond. This is single bond, double bond, triple bond. Then what type of bond it is? What type of bonds are nothing but bonds may be covalent bonds, bonds may be ionic bonds, bonds may be metallic bonds, bonds may be coordinate covalent bonds, coordinate covalent bonds or dative bonds. So these are some of the important bonds. Okay, these are some of the important bonds formed by different molecules, existing in different molecules formed by different atoms. So out of these, which type of bonds are formed by this carbon? Carbon mainly forms covalent bonds. We'll discard the discussion about we are not going to discuss this one, we are not going to discuss this one, we are not going to discuss this one, because you are going to face these type of bonds in higher chemistry classes, not in the 10th class. So carbon mainly forms covalent bonds. Now what is covalent bond? Carbon mainly forms covalent bond. So please have a look at. So what type of bonds carbon is forming predominantly? Bond is a force. Now first of all you should tell what is bond. Bond is a force of attraction which holds the atoms together in a given molecule. So when A combining with B, it is forming AB. The A and B will be linked by a single bond. A and B can be linked by double bond. A and B can be linked by triple bond. So these bonds may be covalent bonds. These bonds may be ionic bonds. These bonds may be metallic bonds. These bonds may be coordinate covalent bonds. So when come to the point of chemistry, that is carbon, carbon mainly forms covalent bonds. Carbon mainly forms covalent bonds. Now what are covalent bonds? Carbon and covalent bonding. Carbon and covalent bonding. What is covalent bond? Our question is, what is covalent bond? What is a covalent bond? A bond formed by mutual sharing of electrons, mutual sharing of electrons is known as covalent bond. One thing you should be very clear is, whenever you say bond, it is always going to involve participation of valence electrons. Participation of valence electrons. So if you want to understand a bond, you should know about valence electrons. You should know about valence shell. Okay, then only you can understand this bond. A bond formed by mutual sharing of electrons is known as covalent bond. Okay, means earlier I told A combining with B. A combining with B. How many electrons are required to form a bond? First of all, look at mutual sharing. A bond is nothing but at least one pair of electrons. Means if two atoms are sharing one atom each, A is sharing one atom, B is sharing one atom, A combining with B, so forming AB. These two electrons are called shared pair. Shared pair. Shared pair. One pair of shared electrons means it is called single covalent bond. If one pair of shared electrons are there, that is called as single covalent bond. Otherwise, A and B sharing two electrons each. A and B sharing two electrons each. There are two pairs of shared electrons. There are two pairs of shared electrons. Two pairs of shared electrons means double covalent bond. Double covalent bond. So simply we are drawing this, we are showing this shared pair of electrons as one pair as a single line, two pairs as double parallel line. Double parallel line. So if you want to say any bond is a covalent bond, the bonded atom should contribute at least one electron to the shared pair. Okay, here A is contributing one electron, B is contributing one electron, it is giving rise to a single covalent bond. Here A and B contributing two electrons each, it is giving rise to a double covalent bond. Okay, so if there are more than one bond, if there is more than one bond is present between two atoms, one bond is going to called as sigma bond, other bond is going to call as pi bond. If there is only one bond between two atoms, that is always a single bond, that is a sigma bond. There is no doubt in that. It is never ever called as pi bond. So if more than one bond is present between two atoms, one bond is ultimately a sigma bond and the other bond is going to be a pi bond. Clear guys? So you should understand. So please have a look at the concept. Then what if two atoms are sharing three pairs of electrons? What does that covalent bond called? If two atoms are sharing three pairs of electrons, if two atoms are sharing three pairs of electrons. Here you can look at A and B are sharing three pairs of electrons. So when there are three pairs of shared electrons, the bond is called as triple covalent bond or simply triple bond. Triple covalent bond. Triple covalent bond. Okay, so depending on the types of shared electrons, the covalent bonds are classified into three categories: single covalent bond, double covalent bond, and triple covalent bond. Then the question is to whom this shared pair of electrons are going to belong to. Means the question is to whom these shared pair of electrons belong to. Always remember, when you say two atoms sharing a pair of electrons, two atoms sharing a pair of electrons, the shared pair belongs to both the atoms. Shared pairs always belongs to both the bonded atoms. Always remember, the shared pairs are not only a property of single bonded atom, those are the properties of those belongs to both the bonded atoms. So depending on the number of shared pair of electrons, covalent bonds are three categories: single covalent bond, double covalent bond, and a triple covalent bond. In a triple covalent bond, we are going to show in these lines A triple bond, B, one is ultimately sigma bond, and the remaining two bonds should be pi bonds. Okay. Again, depending on the type of overlapping of orbitals, covalent bonds are two categories: sigma bonds and pi bond. Those we are going to face in higher classes, not now. But you should know about single bond, double bond, triple bond. That's why I shown here. Okay. So which electrons are shared by A and B? A and B are sharing valence electrons. The first question is, which electrons are shared between A and B? The electrons shared between A and B are their valence electrons. Now what are valence electrons? Valence electrons are outermost electrons. Okay, let us write on the board itself, then we will have a look. Okay, clear guys? This shared pair of electrons belongs to both the bonded atoms, and there are three types of covalent bonds depending on the number of shared pair of electrons. They are single covalent bond, double covalent bond, and triple covalent bonds. Now the question is, which electrons would participate in bonding? Always remember, whether it is ionic bond or covalent bond or coordinate covalent bond or metallic bond, the electrons which are going to participate in bonding are same. They are valence electrons. Valence electrons means electrons present in outermost shell. Electrons present in outermost orbital, outermost cell, orbital or cell. Valence electrons of an atom participate in bonding. Okay. Now, what are valence electrons? The electrons which are present in outermost cell. Let us look at examples to know the valence cell. Whether you have learnt the dot structures in the 9th class or not, I will tell you writing the dot structures. Let us take hydrogen. The symbol of hydrogen is H. Atomic number Z is equal to 1. What is Z? Atomic number. Atomic number is nothing but the number of protons present in a given atom or the number of electrons present in a neutral atom are called as atomic number. Z is equal to 1. So, in K cell, how many electrons? 1. Okay, in hydrogen it contains only K cell. That K cell can accommodate maximum of 2 electrons, but with hydrogen there is only 1 electron, therefore that is going to enter into K cell. So, in K cell 1. So, how to represent these valence electrons? Dot structures. If you want to know bonding, you should know about dot structures. How to represent dot structures? We are going to write this symbol and we are going to write the number of electrons in the form of dots or crosses in the valence cell on the atom, around the atom. So, there is only one valence electron, only one cell is present, that is K cell, that is valence cell itself. So, this is 1. Then let us go for helium. The symbol of helium is He and whose atomic number is equal to Z is equal to 2 and K cell. So, first the electrons are going to enter into K cell. The capacity of K cell is 2. So, that is according to the Bohr's theory we learnt in 9th class. So, K cell can accommodate maximum of 2 electrons. Helium contains only 2 electrons, therefore those 2 electrons are going to enter into K cell. Now, how to write dot structure? The dot structure is going to written as, write the symbol of the element He and only K cell is present. So, K cell is going to be the outermost cell of the helium. How many electrons are there? 2 electrons are there. Therefore, write those 2 electrons on the top of He. So, this is a dot structure of helium. Can you write lithium? Let us go for lithium. When you go for lithium, what is the atomic number of lithium? The atomic number of lithium is Z is equal to 3. So, K cell can accommodate how many electrons? K cell can accommodate maximum of 2 electrons. So, out of 3 electrons present in lithium, 2 are accommodated in K cell and what is the next cell? L cell. L cell can accommodate maximum of 8 electrons. L cell can accommodate maximum of 8 electrons. So, out of 3, 2 are accommodated and remaining L, that is 1. Means in hydrogen and helium there is only one cell, but in lithium there are 2 cells, K and L cell. So, if you write carefully lithium, this is one cell, this is other cell. Okay, let us take this is a K cell, this is L cell. How many electrons are there in the K cell? There are 2 electrons in the K cell. How many electrons are there in the L cell? There is only 1 electron. So which is present on the outermost side? L cell. So this L cell is outermost cell. This outermost cell is called as valence cell. Valence cell. Now you are going to write these valence electrons, means the electrons present in the outermost cell or valence cell are known as valence electrons, and that is also learnt in 9th class. Those valence electrons are only going to written on the top of the symbol of the element. So how to write the dot structure? So lithium dot structure, you have to write lithium. The electrons present in the inner cells are called core electrons. You are not going to write or represent the core electrons on the top of the atom. So these symbols, in these symbols we are going to write only the electrons present in the valence cell. Therefore 1 electron is there in the outermost cell. Okay. So this is the way of writing dot structures. Since we are discussing carbon, we will write the carbon valence and other important atoms like nitrogen, oxygen and hydrogen. Hydrogen already written. Let us go for carbon. Carbon atomic number is Z is equal to 6. Means there are 6 electrons in neutral carbon. 6 electrons in neutral carbon. So when Z is equal to 6, the capacity of K cell is equal to how many? 2. Therefore out of 6 electrons, 2 electrons are going to sit in K cell. The next cell you are going to come is L cell. The capacity of L cell is 8 electrons. Means the second cell can hold maximum of 8 electrons. Means out of 6 electrons, 2 are accommodated in K cell. How many are remaining? The remaining electrons are 6 minus 2, 4 electrons are remaining. Those 4 electrons are going to be placed in L cell 4. So L cell is going to accommodate 4 electrons. Now how to represent this one? Dot symbols. So if you go to the complete structure, this is carbon, L cell, K cell, this is L cell, this is K cell. L cell is going to have 2 electrons and K cell is going to have 4 electrons. Okay, this is Bose diagram. Then dot structure, if you see, dot structure contains symbol of the element carbon and the valence electrons. The valence electrons are 4. So this is the dot structure of carbon. Then the important element which is forming main compounds with carbon are oxygen. Let us go for nitrogen. Then we will go for other elements. Z is equal to 7. Same thing. First of all, the electrons are going to enter into K cell. The number of electrons that can be accommodated in K cell are only 2. Therefore, and L cell and remaining electrons up to 8. So 7 minus 2 how much? 7 minus 2, 5. L cell can accommodate 5 electrons. So what is the dot symbol? When you write the dot structure of a nitrogen, how many electrons are there? 5. Therefore 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the dot structure of nitrogen. Then oxygen. Z is equal to 8. Okay. Again, K is equal to 2, L is equal to 6. So how to write the dot structure? Symbol of the element O, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then fluorine. Z is equal to 9. K is equal to 2, L is equal to 7. So fluorine, symbol of the fluorine, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then neon. Z is equal to 10. K is equal to 2, L is equal to 8. Neon. There are 8 electrons in the valence shell. Those valence electrons are only we are writing on the symbol of the element. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What is the importance of neon? Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon are called as noble gases. Noble means noble in their behavior, peculiar in their behavior, inert in their behavior. So if we take a neon, neon is having 8 electrons in its outermost cell, in its valence shell. Okay. So now the question we are going to arise is, how many bonds a given element is going to form? Means, is it going to form 2 bonds? Is it going to form 3 bonds? Is it going to form 1 bond? Is it going to form 4 bonds? How many bonds an element can form? Then only you can write the structures of carbon. If you want to write the structure of carbon, we should understand its bonding capacity. Is it 1, 2 or 3 or 4? So keep in mind neon. Okay. So how many bonds a given element should form? Why bonds are forming? Can you tell me that question? Why bonds are formed? Why atoms are combining? Once we understand the fundamentals, we will be fast in grasping the concept in further classes. If we do not understand the concept and we are moving blindly, we will not get nothing. So how many bonds a given element can form? First of all, why atoms are forming bond? Remember, atoms are forming bonds to get the stability. First of all, you should remember the point. Atoms are combining means forming bonds to get the stability. Remember. Then what is stability? Have you ever think what is stability? Okay, I am telling what is stability. I am asking you what is stability. Stability, if you go to the mankind, getting enough money, having no problems, having car building, and being happy with family. That is a stability for human being. When comes to the point of atoms or different elements in chemistry, when they want to get stability, they are going to combine with other elements to form the bonds. That's where you are going to get the question, how many bonds are needed to get the stability? That depends upon the valence shell. According to many theories like Lewis and other postulates, they are referring noble gases are stable, means every element tries to be like a noble gas. Noble gas. What noble gases are having in particular? See, that's one. So stability means being like a noble gas. Stability means getting noble gas configuration so that it further do not react with any other element. Okay, so every element tries to get nearest noble gas configuration or octet of electrons in its valence shell. Means, see, I asked you to remember neon. I told there are no compounds of neon. Neon would not combine with other elements because it doesn't require any electrons. So it doesn't going to lose any electrons, like helium also. Neon is going to have 8 electrons in its outermost shell. Why neon is said to be stable according to the theoretical concepts? Neon is said to be stable because neon is having a completely filled valence shell. Okay, a completely filled valence shell. Octet means 8 electrons. Completely filled valence shell. Since neon is having completely filled valence shell, means a octet of electrons or 8 electrons in outermost shell, every element is trying to get this octet of electrons in their valence shell by mutual sharing of electrons or by transfer of electrons, means by ionic bonding or coordinate covalent bonding or metallic bonding. So this completely filled valence shell is making the neon stable. Not only neon, if you go for argon, you can get the same thing. If you go for neon, argon, krypton, you can get the same thing. But helium is a duplet. Helium is having 2 electrons. It's a duplet. So what they are trying to do? Every element in the periodic table, or most of the elements in the periodic table, try to get a completely filled valence shell. Completely filled valence shell means how many electrons? 8 electrons in the valence shell by mutual sharing of electrons. For that, they can form single bond, double bond, triple bond, depending on the requirement of electrons for their valence shell. What is that requirement? Let us take hydrogen. You cannot find hydrogen atoms in the nature. Okay. So let's continue. I am rubbing off the board. How many bonds a given element can form? Still, that is unsolved question now, till now. So let us take a given example. I will tell you. Let's go for carbon. When you go for carbon, atomic number is equal to 6 and it can be written as K cell is equal to 2, L cell is equal to 4. So, valence shell is short of 4 electrons to get the octet. Yes or no? Here there are 8 electrons in a neon, means 8 electrons in the outermost shell of neon. So carbon is also going to get 8 electrons in its valence shell. So how many electrons are short? In carbon, in its valence shell, there are only 4 electrons present. But to reach the 8, how many electrons are short? 4 electrons are short. So it needs to get 4 electrons from its surrounding atoms. Means it has to get 4 electrons. When it has to get 4 electrons, it has to share its 4 electrons. Then carbon is going to get 8 electrons in its valence shell. Let's see how it is going to be. So ultimately I can tell, since carbon is short of 4 electrons, carbon is going to form 4 electrons, that is 4 bonds. That's called valence. How many bonds? The number of bonds formed by an element is called valence or bonding capacity. Valence. The number of bonds an element can form is known as valence, simply bonding capacity. Bonding capacity. We are discussing this valence concept for carbon and above. See here, this valence is equal to 8 minus number of valence electrons. For carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. Means carbon number of valence electrons are how many? 4. So carbon is 4 electrons short of 8. So it needs to form 4 bonds. Nitrogen number of valence electrons is equal to 5. 3 electrons short of 8 means nitrogen has to get 3 more electrons. When nitrogen has to get 3 more electrons, it has to share its 3 electrons. So its shared electrons are 3, and it got 3 electrons from this sharing. 3 plus 3 6, and already remaining is 2. Therefore 5 plus 3 8. So 3 bonds it has to form. Oxygen, number of valence electrons is equal to 6. That implies how many? 2 electrons are 6 is 2 electrons short of 8, means there are 2 electrons required. When 2 electrons are required to get the octet, so 2 bonds are going to be formed by that atom or that element. So 2 bonds. So the valence of oxygen is 2, the valence of nitrogen is 3, the valence of carbon is 4. Fluorine, number of valence electrons is equal to 7. So 1 electron short of 8. Therefore it is going to form only 1 bond. It requires 1 electron, that's why it need to form 1 bond. So 4 electrons are short of octet, 4 bonds. 3 electrons are short of octet, 3 bonds. 2 electrons are short of octet. How many bonds it is? 3 bonds. 2 electrons are short of octet, 2 bonds. 1 electron is short of octet, 1 bond. And here is the interesting point you have to note down is hydrogen. What is the nearest noble gas for hydrogen? The nearest noble gas for hydrogen is helium. How many electrons are there in helium? The number of electrons in helium are 2. So hydrogen tries to get helium configuration. So helium is having 2 electrons. Helium is having number of valence electrons is equal to 2. So hydrogen tries to get 2 electrons. Already 1 electron is there with hydrogen, so 1 electron is short. So hydrogen is always going to form only 1 bond with any element in the periodic table. Hydrogen is always going to form only 1 bond. So then carbon and its compounds, carbon is going to mainly combine with a carbon, that is nitrogen. Carbon can combine with carbon itself, can also combine with other elements like nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, hydrogen, sulfur, chlorine, bromine, iodine, like this. So always remember, in any case carbon should form 4 bonds, in any case nitrogen should form 3 bonds, in any case oxygen should have two bonds around it, fluorine should have always a single bond, hydrogen should always form a single bond. So these are called valence. Now how they are forming? So carbon is forming by covalent bonding mainly. So this fundamental concept is the underlying basic for the organic chemistry, where that organic chemistry deals with the carbon compound, carbon combining with hydrogen and other elements like oxygen, nitrogen, etc. So after attaining or discussing this valence, what we have to discuss? How many bonds you got? How bonds are forming? Let us say how bonds are forming. We have seen A combining with B. Now how bonds are forming? You came to know oxygen should form 2 bonds, nitrogen should form 3 bonds, carbon should form 4 bonds, hydrogen should form 1 bond. That's why you can see, you cannot see hydrogen atoms, but here hydrogen is existing as H2, fluorine is existing as F2, oxygen is existing as O2, nitrogen is existing as N2, carbon is existing in the form of diamond, graphite, Buckminster fullerene C60, it is also existing as coal, charcoal, like that. So between nitrogen and nitrogen, how many bonds are there? Between oxygen and oxygen, how many bonds are there? Between fluorine and fluorine, how many bonds are there? Between hydrogen and hydrogen, or how many bonds are there? Means we are going to discuss how this N2O2 F2 H2 are formed according to the covalent bond theory, and why H2 F2 O2 N2 are existing, why not H F O N singly as single atoms. So we are going to continue our discussion with the formation of hydrogen, fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, etc., and other different molecules to understand the covalent bond concept. So what is covalent bond? Why this covalent bond formation or bond formation is necessary? How the bond is formed? Discuss which electrons are participating in bonding, and how many bonds an element should form, and what type of covalent bonds it should form. All are discussed till now. So with that view, let's proceed for the formation of discussion of F2. Formation of H2 molecule. Formation of H2 molecule. So when you go to the H2 molecule, so whenever if you want to write the structure and you want to explain the formation, their formation, what you need to do is hydrogen. First write this symbol hydrogen, its atomic number Z is equal to 1, and its dot structure is H. Now the concept is hydrogen tries to get a duplet of electrons, duplet, that is helium configuration. Hence hydrogen tried to get 2 electrons in its valence shell, but already 1 electron is there and 1 electron is short. So it needs to form one bond. How that bond is going to be formed? When it tries to form one bond, it has to share its electron. If it wants to form one bond, it has to share its 1 electron. If it wants to form 2 bonds, it has to share 2 electrons. If it wants to form 3 bonds, it has to share its 3 electrons. So hydrogen, one hydrogen atom is coming with 1 electron, and other hydrogen atom coming with its electron, and this hydrogen is sharing its electron with other hydrogen, and this hydrogen is also sharing its electron with other hydrogen, and eventually these 2 electrons are kept between these 2 atoms. So now if you check, these 2 electrons belongs to this hydrogen, these 2 electrons are also belongs to this hydrogen. So this is a shared pair. This is a shared pair that is present between 2 hydrogen atoms, and this shared pair belongs to this hydrogen as well as this hydrogen. Since a single pair of electrons are shared, so hydrogen are attached by a single covalent bond like this. Okay. Then let's take a nitrogen. Nitrogen Z is equal to 7, and the nitrogen in nature existing as a diatomic molecule N2. Diatomic molecule N2. What is its dot structure? Nitrogen, its valence electrons are how many? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is structure. Now, how many electrons short of 8? There are 5 electrons in the valence shell of nitrogen. So, nitrogen is short of 3 electrons to get the octet in its valence shell. How many electrons short? 3 electrons are short of 8. So, nitrogen wants to form how many bonds? 3 bonds. When nitrogen wants to form 3 bonds, it has to share its 3 electrons. So, if I write in a written manner, 3 electrons are short of octet. Octet means 8. 8, number 8. Therefore, 3 bonds are to be formed, or 3 electrons are required. When 3 bonds are to form, 3 electrons has to be shared. In covalent bonding, this is covalent bonding, remember, this is not an ionic bonding. Okay, so let's check. This is one nitrogen atom. This is, let's take other nitrogen atom. Let's suppose this nitrogen is giving 1 electron. This nitrogen is giving other electron. Then let's check. If they are sharing 1 electron each, nitrogen, remaining 4 electrons are on the nitrogen. Now, if we count the number of electrons around each nitrogen, how many electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 6 electrons we got. What about remaining 2? So, if you check for the same, for this nitrogen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When one pair of electrons are shared, nitrogen is getting only sextet, that is 6 electrons, not octet. So, further it is going to proceed. So, nitrogen, then one more electron each. When they are sharing one more electron each, if we count the octet, how many electrons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For this atom, 1, 2, these are 4, 4 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 1 8, sorry 6 plus 1 7, only septet you got. Again they are going to share one more electron each. Count. 3 pairs, 3 into 2 6, 6 plus 2 8, 3 pairs plus 2 8. So octet 8 electrons, this is also having 8 electrons, and in between 3 shared pair of electrons. When 3 electron pairs are shared between any 2 atoms, that bond is said to be triple covalent bond. So triple covalent bond. So this can be, we are writing it as N triple bond N, and there are 2 electrons each. There are 2 electrons each on their heads. So one bond is sigma bond, remaining bond should be pi bonds, and these 2 pairs which are not shared are called unshared pairs, or simply called as lone pairs. Okay, unshared electron pairs. This pair of electron belongs to this nitrogen only. This pair of electrons belongs to this nitrogen only. But these 6, that 3 pairs, these 6 electrons belongs to both the nitrogen atoms. That's why nitrogen existing as N2 molecule, and other thing, generally why nitrogen is stable at room temperature, even at higher temperature, why nitrogen is inert at lower temperatures. The reason being is, if 2 atoms are sharing a single bond, okay, it's stable. If they are sharing 2 shared pair of electrons, double bond, more stable. If they are forming triple bond, it is very stable. So the stability increases as the number of bonds between 2 atoms increases. Okay, this is the story of nitrogen. Can you look at oxygen? Okay, if you do not understand here, still there is a time, that is we are going to discuss oxygen, then you can tell. Let's go for oxygen. How oxygen is existing in the atmosphere? As O2. Z is equal to 8, and it is having KCl is equal to 2, LCl is equal to 6. So 2 electrons are short of octet in its valence shell. So how many bonds? When 2 electrons are short, 2 bonds be formed by oxygen. Always remember, When I say valence is equal to 2, means when 2 bonds should be formed by oxygen, in every molecule, whatever molecule you are looking in your lifetime, in that molecule oxygen should have 2 bonds around it. Those 2 bonds may be either double bonds or 2 single bonds. When you say nitrogen, nitrogen should always have 3 bonds around it. It may be triple bond, it may be double bond, single bond, it may be all 3 single bonds. Nitrogen should always have 3 bonds around it. That is the concept. So when 2 bonds it has to be formed, so 2 electrons should be shared with any other atom. So how the formation of O2? See here. So the symbol of oxygen dot structure, if you see how many valence electrons? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you look at oxygen, if they are sharing 1 electron each, so if we count the number of electrons around oxygen, 2, 2, 4, 4 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 1 only 7. If they share 1 electron each, they are having only 7 electrons around them. That's why they are going to share other electron. So if you count the number of electrons, there are 4 electrons are shared between 2 oxygens, means 2 pair of shared electrons and 2 pairs of unshaded electrons each on each oxygen. So 2 pairs means 4 electrons, 4 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 2, 8. So octet of this electron, this oxygen is attained, octet of this oxygen is attained. How many pairs? 2 pairs. When 2 pairs of electrons are shared, carefully look, when 2 pairs of electrons are shared between any 2 atoms, that bond is going to be called as double covalent bond or simply double bond. On this oxygen there are 2 unshaded pair of electrons, and on this oxygen how many? 2 unshaded electrons. So 2 lone pairs on this oxygen, 2 lone pairs on this oxygen. Among these 2 bonds, one bond is going to be sigma bond, other bond is going to be pi bond. Okay. So in next class, please try to draw the structure of F2, formation of F2, formation of CH4. How the CH4 is formed, how fluorine is formed. Please go through it. Okay. Thank you and fine. Please read NCERT textbook line by line and try to understand each and every concept. These are the concepts which are taken from 9th class. Okay. So holidays are going to complete soon and we are going to start our online classes also. Thank you very much.